Tasmania is known for its stunning landscapes, but hidden beneath its beauty lies a darker side. Haunted asylums, eerie caves, and ghostly houses whisper stories of restless souls. Ready to explore the top 10 most haunted places in Tasmania that will send chills down your spine? Let's dive in, if you dare. 1. Willow Asylum, New Norfolk. They say the walls of Willow Court still whisper. Built in 1827 in the quiet town of New Norfolk, Tasmania, this former asylum was meant to care for the mentally ill. But what lies behind its crumbling brick walls tells a different story. Patients were locked away in underground cells, some for decades, without sunlight, without a voice. Locals speak of screams echoing through the night, of lights flickering when no one is inside. A tour guide once heard footsteps pacing just behind him, though he was alone. Others have seen faces in the windows, faces twisted in agony, vanishing when approached. But perhaps the most chilling tale comes from a former nurse who swore she saw a patient long dead, staring back at her from an empty hallway. The figure smiled, then vanished into the shadows. Willow Court isn't just haunted, it remembers, and it never forgets who walked its halls. 2. Port Arthur Historic Site, Tasmania. By day, Port Arthur is a peaceful ruin, but by night, it breathes. Located on the southeastern coast of Tasmania, this former penal settlement once held the most dangerous convicts in Australia. Behind its stone walls, cruelty thrived, floggings, isolation, madness. Some say the ground itself absorbed the pain. Visitors report hearing chains dragging across cell floors. Doors slam shut on their own. Shadows move where there should be none. One couple swore they heard a man whisper, "Get out," though no one was there. But the most terrifying tale is of the parsonage, a house once home to a kind-hearted priest. After his sudden death, strange things began to happen. Lights flickered, cold spots spread. People saw him, standing in the doorway, eyes hollow, mouth moving, praying for peace he never found. Port Arthur isn't just a relic of the past. It's a wound, still bleeding into the present. 3. Narina, the merchant's house, Hobart. Narina looks beautiful from the outside, a grand 19th century home in Hobart, Tasmania. But step inside and the air changes. Built in the 1830s by a wealthy merchant, the house was meant to be a symbol of success. Yet behind its elegant facade, tragedy unfolded. The owner lost his fortune, then his mind. Servants whispered of late-night screams, cold drafts with no wind, and doors that slammed in empty halls. Today, visitors report being watched. One tourist felt a hand grip her shoulder, only to find no one there. A guide once heard footsteps on the upper floor, in a house locked for the night. But it's the nursery that truly chills the bone. Toys move, music boxes play by themselves, and sometimes in the mirror people see the reflection of a little girl, eyes wide, dress torn, just standing and staring. At Narina, the past doesn't rest, it waits. 4. Ghost Rock Wines, Northtown. The name Ghost Rock isn't just clever branding, It's a warning. Nestled in the rolling hills of Northtown, Tasmania, Ghost Rock Wines is known for its beauty and its secrets. Long before the vineyard, this land was a lonely stretch marked by a single boulder. Locals avoided it. They said it moaned at night. When the winery was built, strange things began to happen. Workers heard whispers among the vines, barrels rolled on their own. One vintner claimed he saw a pale woman standing between the rows at dawn, hair wet, eyes hollow, mouth moving silently. But the most haunting tale comes from a wine cellar tour. A guest wandered off, only to return shaking. She said she saw a man in old farming clothes staring at her from the shadows, his face twisted, not in anger but sorrow. They say the spirits in the wine aren't the only spirits you'll meet. At Ghost Rock, some stories are bottled and some never leave. Five. Runny National Trust, Tasmania. Hobart Runny stands tall in Hobart, graceful, timeless, and haunted. Built in the 1830s, this grand colonial home was once filled with laughter, music, and light. But time has a way of clinging to places, and not all memories are kind. Beneath its polished floors and antique charm, something restless stirs. Staff often hear footsteps on the stairs when no one's there. Doors creak open slowly, as if someone's still making their rounds. One cleaner refused to return after seeing a figure in the drawing room mirror, a woman in black, unmoving, watching her. But the strangest stories come from the bedroom upstairs. Guests wake to the sound of breathing beside them. Some say they feel the bed sink, as if someone just lay down. Runnymede preserves history, but not all of it is silent. Some echoes refuse to fade. Some souls never check out. 6. Franklin House, National Trust, Tasmania, Launceston, Franklin House. In Launceston, Tasmania, is elegant, serene until the sun goes down. Built in 1838 by a wealthy brewer, this Georgian-style home later became a school for boys. But not every lesson was learned in daylight. Shadows linger in its narrow halls, and stories, dark ones, were quietly passed from teacher to student. Visitors often speak of cold spots that move like breath, of piano keys pressing down one by one, though no one's near. A former guide quit after hearing whispers in the study, soft, childlike voices repeating the same word, help. But the attic holds the darkest secret. Some who enter feel an overwhelming sadness, as if something or someone doesn't want them there. One man fainted after claiming he saw a young boy in old clothes sitting silently in the corner, then vanishing when he blinked. Franklin House may preserve the past, but something inside refuses to be forgotten or forgiven. 7. Highfield Historic Site, Stanley, perched above the wind-swept coast of Stanley, Tasmania. Highfield House looks out over the sea, silent, watching. But something watches back. Built in the 1830s for the powerful Van Diemen's Land Company, it was a house of authority, of control, yet behind its grand walls, whispers of cruelty, isolation, and despair still echo. Visitors report hearing heavy boots pacing the halls, loud, deliberate, though no one is there. Candles blow out without wind. Doors lock, then unlock on their own. One guest described seeing a man in a long coat standing at the top of the stairs. When she looked again, he was gone, but the cold remained. But the most chilling tale surrounds the nursery. Staff have heard crying late at night. Not the sound of a baby, but of a woman. Desperate, heartbroken, searching. Highfield isn't just a piece of history. It's a house that remembers what it was and refuses to let it go. Eight. Remarkable Cave, Tasman Peninsula. They call it remarkable for its beauty, but the cave hides more than just crashing waves and sculpted stone. Located on the wild Tasman Peninsula, this sea cave, carved by centuries of tide, holds a darker legend. Long ago, it's said that convicts who escaped from nearby Port Arthur tried to hide here, but the sea had other plans. They vanished, no bodies, no trace, only screams swallowed by the tide. Today, when the wind howls just right, it doesn't sound natural. It sounds human. Visitors report hearing whispers echo off the stone, voices that shouldn't exist. Phones die without warning. One hiker claimed she saw a man soaking wet crawling from the shadows of the cave, only to disappear as she ran. And some say when the tide is low, you can still see footprints leading in, but never coming out. Remarkable Cave is beautiful, yes, but some beauty was meant to be feared. Nine. The Short Tower Historic Site and the Tower Tea Room. Taruna, rising above the trees. In Taruna, Tasmania, the Short Tower cuts a lonely figure against the sky. Built in 1870 to make lead bullets, it once echoed with the clang of molten metal and the silent dread of those who worked within. Climb its 318 narrow steps, and you might feel it, that pressure, that presence. Visitors speak of icy fingers brushing their arms, of whispers spiraling upward with the wind. One tourist paused to catch her breath and heard someone breathing right behind her. She turned. No one. The tea room below offers comfort, tea, scones, warmth. But even here, strange things linger. Staff have seen figures in old-fashioned clothes gliding past the windows. One waitress swears she served a man who never showed up on the bill or the cameras. The short tower may offer a view of the landscape, but some say it's really a tower of echoes, echoes that climb with you and never truly come back down. Ten. Coal Mines Historic Site, Saltwater River. Beneath the quiet earth of Saltwater River, Tasmania, the coal mines historic site holds stories darker than the coal it once extracted. Once a brutal penal colony, convicts toiled endlessly in cramped tunnels, chained, exhausted, forgotten. Many never saw the daylight again. Their pain, their fear seeped into the very rock. Visitors today speak of sudden drops in temperature and whispers carried on cold drafts. Some have glimpsed shadowy figures at the mine's entrance, faces hollow, eyes empty, forever trapped between past and present. One explorer heard the clinking of chains deep underground, though the mines have long been sealed. When she called out, a voice answered, faint, desperate, "Help me." The coal mines aren't just a historic site, they're a prison for souls unwilling to rest, and some tunnels still echo with their silent cries. These haunted places in Tasmania remind us that some spirits never truly rest. Which story unsettled you the most? Comment below, and if you want more chilling tales, don't forget to like and subscribe. Until next time, stay curious and watch your back.